Can someone confirm if my voice is clear? Screen is visible, right? Okay, Chaitanya. Okay, let's do the revision. Hope my screen is visible. Yes, just want to make sure that we are good to proceed. My screen is visible? Okay, okay, Samyukta. Okay, let's get it started. Let's do a small recap about the yesterday's topic, which is the Java switch statements. So the Java switch statement is going to execute one statement from the multiple conditions, and there are a lot of theory, and we will just understand this from the diagrammatic representation, right? So this is the small cheat sheet that we have prepared yesterday, right? So if you talk about the expression, when you talk about the expression, only the when you say primitive data types, these are the data types that are allowed. These are the valid expressions that is allowed in the switch statements, right? If you want to represent an expression, especially for the primitive data types, right? These are the allowed data types. One is byte, short, int, and character, right? These are the data types that are invalid data types. You cannot represent long, float, double, and boolean data types. This is one thing, and again, case when you talk about cases, each and every case is going to have a value. The value should be the direct constants. You can represent only constants. Direct values you can represent, and this is one of the examples which creates a confusion. Whenever any variable with the final keyword, when you declare any variable with the final keyword, the variable is going to be assumed as the constant itself. Compiler is going to consider this as a constant, even though the value is stored in a variable. Since we are using the final keyword, it is going to be assumed as a constant by the compiler, right? And also this break statement is an optional, but actually it would defeat the purpose if you are not using the break statement. Using the break statement would be appropriate, right? And at the same time, the compiler will not give any complaints if you do not use the break statement. Right? It is an optional, so that is what I'm trying to say. Break statement is an optional. The default statement is also an optional. So when you read this, you will get default statement. The break statement is an optional keyword in the switch block. It is not mandatory. There will be no compiler checks, but it would be appropriate to use the break and default statements, or else it would defeat the purpose of the switch statement itself. So the switch statement is used is meant to execute one condition among all the conditions, right? And so the system.out.println statement, and if you look at this, the statement can be anything, and even the complicated business logic can be placed, right? And we have seen some programs on top of this, and next day we have started discussing about the nested switch statement, which means a switch statement inside a switch statement is called as a nested switch statement, right? And so this is the syntax of the nested switch statement. So if you prepare a switch statement inside another switch statement, we call it as the nested switch statement. The typical syntax, which case one, and again, see the logic inside the case one, and again there is another switch statement. This combination is called as what? The nested switch statement. This switch statement is placed inside another switch statement. That is also possible, and you can also place another switch statement inside the nested switch statement. You can keep placing the switch statement inside after the other, one inside the another one. That is also possible. If you want to develop any complexity over the business logic, you can consider the nested switching statements, but people, they don't do this because it will not achieve the readability. It won't be good. right? So let me take a small example of the nested switch statement. Okay, see, name of the class is test, and I have a main method. Inside this main method, I am taking a variable branch which is stored in the character data type. I can either I can use, see, here there are three branches, C, E, M. C is representing computer science, C is representing what we call it as electronics, and M is for mechanical, right? And the college year, this college year is representing the actual year. You can either use one or two. Right? You can use any number because typically the engineering, when you take engineering, you usually have to study for 4 years, right? You can give any values here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I am using a switch statement. This statement is accepting the college year. In our case, it is accepting 2. Right? When it is accepting 2, the 2 will, the actual variable is going to get mapped to the exact case. So 2 is getting mapped here. Matching case. Right? The control will directly transfer to the case 2. And again, in the case 2, there is another switch statement placed within the switch statement. This switch statement is accepting what? The branch. What is the branch? Branch is nothing but the variable name. If you go above, right, we are saving a character value which is C, right? So in the branch, just it will replace the expression with what? With the letters. So this is the matching case combination, right? So the output is going to be what? Operating system, Java, data structures. After this, we are using the break statement, which means the control will be kicked out of the switch loop. From here, the control will be kicked out. And again, we are using a break statement. So the control will be kicked out of this outer switch block. So the output has to be what? Operating system, Java, data structure. Execute this. So I don't think you need much explanation on the switch statement because when you are getting something here. Okay, this double quotes are missing. That's it. Syntactical errors. Compilation is successful. Okay, we get the output as operating system, Java, data structure. So when I choose the branch E, right, we get the respective output according to the branch which we have chosen. Microprocessor, logical switching and theory. I choose branch M. Let us do this. When we choose branch M, the respective output will be displayed in the console. That's it. You can try this from your end. So this is the typical example of the nested switch statement. So there will be no difficulties. Okay, now we will jump into the new topic, very important topic, the Java iterative statements. Topic is going to be very important. Pay some attention, and because this iterative statements, we will be solving a lot of problems on the top of iterative statements. You take data structures in the future, if you want to learn data structures, these Java iterative statements are going to help us out how to design a program with high readability and high performance. And the topic is going to be what? Java iterative statements. Do you have any idea about the iterative statements? Anyone? Yes, no? Have you heard about iterative statements? I mean, do you have, in your college, I think you have completed at least 2 years of your college, right? Anyone have any idea about iterative statements? No response. Okay. I will assume that you don't know. So iterative statements are nothing but when a path of the instruction in the Java program. The part of the instruction in the Java program gets executed repeatedly. I will tell you, I will give the justification for this theory. Try to pay some attention. When the part of the instruction in the Java program gets executed repeatedly, then the process is called as iterative. And to achieve this, we use Java loops. Right? And again, the loops are categorized into three types. There are three types of Java loops. One is for loop, second one is while loop, the third one is do. Right? Actually, it has to be in the lower case because Java is the case sensitive language. So for loop, while loop, and the do while loop. Right? You can see all the purpose of for loop, while loop, do while loop. They are going to perform the same operations, but there is a slight difference in choosing which loop is appropriate for a particular task. Right? Most of the programs, most of the real-time expressions, when they want to go for the loops, they always prefer for loop because of its what we call it as because of its easiness. You can approach any problem with the help of for loop. It is going to be very easy and the readability is going to be very high. And again, when a program is prepared on for loop, the same program can be prepared on the while loop as well as with the do while loop as well. But the preparation on top of for loop is going to be very easy. We'll understand each and every loop in detail. Right? First of all, so the syntax of the for loop is going to be syntax for expression 1 and we have a colon and followed by expression 2. We have a colon and followed by expression 3. Right? And a opening parenthesis and a closing parenthesis. Inside this you can keep any number of statements. So for the time being I am simply saying it as a statement because I am just defining the syntax. So this is the typical syntactical representation of the Java for loop. Right, so there is an expression 1, expression 2, expression 3, and you can include any number of statements inside this particular program. Right, so let us understand this with a simple program. For example, let us say that I have a requirement to print hello world in the console for 5 times. So I am told or I am asked to prepare a Java program to display the hello world in the console for 5 times. Typically, if I am a beginner, if I have to think as a beginner, I will go with this approach, a naive approach. I can say that a naive approach, a very straightforward approach. What was the question? Hello world needs to be displayed for 5 times in the console. Hello world. So one time it will be, so if I use this, if I run this, hello world will be displayed for 1 time. If I ever had to display it for 5 times, I will be doing like this, right? Now the output is going to be what? Hello world will be displayed in the console for 5 consecutive times. Yes or no? Right? So this is completely okay. If the requirement is this, okay, I can go with this approach. If I run, if I save, and if I compile, the compilation is successful. So hello world is being displayed in the console for the 5 consecutive times. No problem, right? But what if I'm asked to print the hello world for 10 times? What I will do as a beginner, I do this: copy paste 10 times system.out.println hello world. Same names are copied for 10 times. The output is going to be hello world itself for 10 times. What if I am asked to do or print the hello world for 100 times? Means it won't be appropriate if I keep copying this and writing this code for the 100 times, right? If I do that, the readability will be reduced, the complexity will be increased. At the same time, the number of lines of the codes inside the Java program is going to be increased. Yes or no? Right? To avoid this, now you understand one thing, right? By looking at this, I can come to a conclusion. What conclusion is that the same hello world, the same sentence is being printed, is repeatedly printed for a certain amount of time. I mean, for certain times, for specific number of times. That is the condition. I can go for the for loop. I can use for loop. I can achieve the same thing by using the for loop. Right? So how can we achieve this? Right? I'm just deleting this block of code. Let me remove this. So I'm using a for loop. I will explain you the for loop, but just try to understand the importance of the for loop. I'm just initializing integer I equal to 0. You might be wondering what is this I and what is this the expression 1, expression 2, expression 3. I will give you the explanation. No worries. I plus plus. I did some changes. Right now I am right now. Previously we had 10 sequence of lines. Right now I am going to achieve the same output. I am going to achieve the same program with 3 set of lines, maybe 5, including this parenthesis. It is going to be not even 5, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? If I compile and if I run this, so 10 times it is being displayed in the console. But if I want to display it for 100 times, so I will just use 100 here. Right? I do not have to keep writing the system.out.println statement for 100 times. Instead of doing that, I can achieve the same thing with the help of the simple for loop. Right? I have just changed the value to 100. If I do this, the output is going to be what? Hello world will be displayed for the 100 times. Compilation is successful. If you keep counting, the hello world is printed for 100 times. It's not necessary to count, it is 100 times only. Okay. Right. Now the question is, what is this expression? What is this integer I equal to 0? What is this I is lesser than 100 and I plus plus? I will answer you this question. So this is the typical example. Right? Example problem. Printing hello world for 100 times in the console. So this is the problem. This is a simple problem. Right? So let us do some postmortem on this problem now, especially the syntax. The syntax is expression 1, expression 2, and expression. You will understand each and everything. Let me open my paint. Okay, so let me copy this. Now you listen, guys. So not only printing hello world for 100 times, we can do a lot of, can solve a lot of programs, or we can build a lot of high performance logics by using the for loops. So this is the syntax that I have just defined it. This is a syntax. Right? So I have said expression 1. So this is the expression 1. This is the expression 1. Right? So when you talk about expression 1, right? It is used for declaring, or else I can say declaration and the initialization of a variable. Right? It is used for declaration and initialization of a variable, right? So this is the starting point of the execution for the for loop. I can also say that this expression one, I mean this is the starting point of execution for the for loop, right? The third statement can be it will be executed only once. It will be executed only once. I will tell you why it will be executed only once. So these are the three statements that you have to remember. The first expression one defines what it is used for declaration and initialization of a variable. First point is very clear. Second point says it is the starting point of execution for the for loop. Whenever you are using the for loop, the control will be started from the expression one. That is what it means. It will be executed only once. Why it will be executed only once? I'm going to explain this line now with the practical example. Let us take the same example. So this is the example which we had used to print hello world for 100 times. For the time being, I am trying to use. I just want to print this for 5 times. Right? Try to pay some attention. Let me keep some spaces for the better understanding. Okay, this is the for loop. So the execution starts from the expression one. This is representing the expression one. So now look at here. It is used for declaration and initialization of the variable, right? So the value 0 is initialized to the variable I of integer data type. Starting point. We are just saying that we are just giving an instruction that count the number from 0. It is just like, for example, if you ever had to count numbers from 0 to 100, the starting point of your counting is going to be from 0 itself, right? If I am asked you to count numbers from 50 to 100, it means the starting number, counting number is going to be 50. When I say 50 to 100, it means you have to start counting from 50. So 50 is the starting point, right? When I ask you to count numbers from 25 to 100, right? In this case, the starting point is 25. You will start counting from 25, 26, 27, and thereafter you will end till once you count 100, right? When I say start counting from 0 to 100, you will start from 0. Likewise, so this, since it is a starting point of the for loop, right? You will initialize the value. You will initialize the counting. Starting count to be 0. In this case, the starting count is going to be what? 0, because it is I equal to 0. Right? So this is the typical expression one, right? So this will be executed only once, right? With this, what will happen here is a memory block will be created, guys. Memory block will be created, and 0 will be assigned to the variable I. I is the variable, right? From here, the control from expression 1, the control will be transferred to expression 2, right? So when you keep a for loop, the beginning of the control, I mean expression 1 is going to handle it for the first time, or else I can say that the control will be starting from the expression 1. As soon as the expression 1, the execution of the expression 1 is completed, right? In our case, there is no execution here because of this particular line. A memory block is getting created, and the value 0 is getting assigned to the variable I. Right? So this part is over. The control will be transferred to expression 2. Expression 2 says it is a conditional check, guys. I can say that expression 2, it is a conditional check, right? So After evaluation, it should always return either true or false. Conditional check means the output should always be the Boolean value. You can keep any expression. You can keep any complicated expression, but after the evaluation, the resultant value should be either true or false. Simple as that. It is a conditional check. After the evaluation, the resultant value should be true or false. Right? So in our case, we are saying I is lesser than 5. Right? What is the value inside the I? 0. Right? So the first condition, first check is going to be 0. 0 is lesser than 5. So what output it is going to give? True. Yes or no? True. So if this is going to give true, the control will be sent inside the loop. If it is returning true, the control will not transport to expression 3. From expression 1 to expression 2, from expression to the statement inside, it will go inside the body of the for loop. Expression 1, from here it will jump here, from here it will go inside the body of the true if it is true. Right? What we are saying, system.out.println, print the messages all over it. Right? So just assume this as a console. Right? The output is going to be what? All over it. Okay. Now after executing this instruction, this statement, right, the control will be transferred to expression. Right? So let me create here expression 1 to expression 2 to expression, statements, or else I can say body of the for loop to expression. So this is the flow: expression 1, expression 2, body of the for loop, and expression 2. Now the control is pointing to expression 3. Expression 3 says I plus plus. What is the actual value of I? 0. Right? After assuming it at 0, we are doing plus plus, increment we are performing, right? So in the memory, what happens? 0 will be incremented to 1. Yes or no? The value of 0 will be incremented to 1. Right? Now the latest value of I is what? 1. Right? So now the thing is, after executing this expression 3, now the control will be transferred to expression 2. Very simple. First expression 1, this will be executed only once. It's just an initialization. This is just for the starting purpose. It is just for the beginning. As soon as this part is done, it has nothing to do with the for loop. That's it. This part is done. It will be parked. Then the control will be transferred to expression 2, then body, then expression 3, and again expression 2, body, expression 3. So the loop will be continuous until the condition is false. The loop keep executing continuously until the expression is turning out to be false. As simple as that. Right? Now again it came back to the expression 2. Now expression 2 says we can say that I is lesser than 5. Right? Now what is the latest value of I here? 1 is lesser than 5. 1 is lesser than 5? Yes, it is, right? It is obviously lesser than 5. So what is the evaluated output? The resultant output is going to be, after the evaluation, true itself. Right? So if this is returning true, if this expression is returning true, the control will go into the body. Right? This is returning true, so the control will be getting into the body of the for loop. Again we are saying print hello world. Right? Hello world will be displayed in the console. So we get hello world for the second step. Hello world. Right? So from body of the loop, again expression 3. From here, again expression. Expression 3 says I plus plus. Latest value of I is what? 1. This 1 has nothing to do here. This for our assumption, right? After we are assuming it as 1, after this increment is happening, so in the memory 1 will become 2. So 1 will be incremented to 2, right? Now the control will be transferred back to the expression 2, right? Now the conditional check, I is lesser than 5. Latest value of I is what? 2. 2 should be lesser than 5. True or false? 2 should be lesser than 5. Obviously it is going to be true only. Yes or no? So if it is true, the control will get into the for loop, body of the for loop, right? So we are trying to print hello world again. Hello world, right? And again the control will be transferred to expression 3, I plus plus. So when I say I plus plus, latest value of I is 2, and in the memory it is going to be what? 2 will become 3, right? So again from after the incrementation, the control will be transferred back to expression 2, right? Now there is a conditional check, 3 will be compared with 5, right? 3 is going to get compared with 5, so this is obviously going to give true, right? So when it is true, body of the loop will be executed. Hello world, right? And again from here the control will be back to I plus plus, expression 3. So 3 will be assumed and 3 will be converted to 4. Incrementation is happening, I plus plus, right? So 4, latest value of I is 4. From here the control will be back to here, conditional check, right? So 4 is lesser than 5. Of course it is going to return what? True. So when it is returning true, hello world has to be printed, body of the loop. Now focus here. Now the termination part is going to happen. Hello world is going to be printed, and the control will be transferred from here to the expression 3. Expression 3. So we are doing I plus plus, which means latest value of I is 4, and in the memory this 4 will be incremented to 5. 4 will be incremented to 5. Right? Now the conditional check is 5 is lesser than 5. 5 is lesser than 5. Right? 5 can be equal to 5. Right? 5 cannot be lesser than 5 itself. Right? So this is going to return what? This is going to return false. False. When it is returning false, it has nothing to do with what? It will not enter the body of the loop. When this is returning, when this expression is returning false, instead of entering body of the loop, this control will be terminated. This control will be transferred outside the for loop. As simple as that. So this is the simple control flow of the for loop. If you ever had to print hello world for the 5 times, this many things are happening. What is the first thing that is happening? First thing is what? The expression 1 will get executed. Expression 1 will always get executed for only one time, right? After this the control will be traveled to the expression 2. Expression 2 is going to have the boolean condition. If it is returning true, go to the body. After printing this, go here, right? After increment, again check. True, if it is returning to body, increment, check, body, increment. As long as it is returning true, it is going to follow this pattern. The moment this returns false, right, it is going to come out of the loop. Making sense? So this is going to get executed for the first only once. Boolean check, true, if it is true, body, increment. again go here. If it is true, body increment, go here. True, body increment, go here. True, body increment, go here. False, don't execute the body, just transfer the control outside the forward. Making sense, everyone? Yes, no, maybe? Are you finding any confusion? Chaitanya, Samyukta, Jyoti, Jyoti and Ashwan, are you able to follow? Right, we will see more examples. This is the base example. This is the naive approach, very fundamental. We're going to see a lot of examples. So this is the simple approach, simple understanding. Right? So I can say that if I have a for loop, let me increase the font, guys. Give me a moment. Okay, if I have a for loop, integer I equal to 0, I is lesser than 5 plus plus, right? System dot out dot print ln hello world. Okay, the pattern is going to be from here, right? And again from here, right? From here, after execute this, the control will be transferred here. Right? So from here, right? So this is repetitive. This is repetitive as long as the condition is true. Expression 2, expression 3, I mean expression 2, statements, expression 3. This process is repetitive. For how many times it is going to be repetitive? As long as the condition is true. As long as the condition is true, right? So expression 2, body of the loop, increment. Expression 2, body of the loop, increment. So it keeps repeating it. Like, if you, instead of 5, if you use 100 times it will be circling, right? If you use 200 times it will be. Right? It goes on. You can use any number here. So that many times the loop will get executed. Right? As soon as it encounters false, the moment it encounters false, right? The moment if the instruction is found to be false, the moment the instruction is found to be, I mean, if the instruction is found to be false, right? The control will be transferred directly. Control will be kicked out of the for loop. The moment it encounters false. This is for what? This is for false. Making sense? Now you tell me how many times expression 1 is going to get executed. Answer me. Everyone, expression 1, how many times it will get executed? Expression 1 means this one. This expression, how many times it will be recognized or it will be executed? By looking at the diagram, you can say now. Are you getting my question? Expression 1, integer I equal to 0, how many times this is going to get executed? Hello? Say something, guys. Only one time, no? Why you are thinking a lot. Only one time it is going to get executed. No, only one time. Why 4 times? It will be recognized only one time. Right? So see guys, the control will be starting from expression 1. Right? From here, it will assign the value 0. That's it. A 0 is going to be assigned to the variable I. Only one time it will be recognized. After this, the control has nothing to do with expression 1. It will just initialize the value in the memory. Value will be initialized in the memory, then the control will be transferred here. From here, based upon the condition, the loops get executed. This is how the loop is going to get executed, right? So only one time expression 1 will get executed. From the expression 2, as long as the condition is true, right? If the condition is true, it will jump to statement, right? And again, it expression 3. True, statement, expression 3. This is a circle. It keeps executing the loop as long as the condition is true. As soon as it encounters false, the control will be transferred outside for false. Making sense? Everyone, we will see some problems. Samyukta, Shashwant. Hello. Are you able to follow? Understand now? Shashwant, Chaitanya. Okay. We will see a meaningful example now. We'll understand this better. So my requirement is I want to print numbers from 1 to 10, guys. Or let us say that I want to print numbers from 1 to 5. So when I say 1 to 5, I want to print numbers from 1 to 5. So this is my requirement, right? There are two approaches I can follow. The first approach is the naive approach. System.out.println, right? So here I can use what? I can use 1 to be displayed in the console. This is the approach. See? This is a naive approach, but it is not an effective approach. We are just hard coding it, right? So we are just hard coding it, and this is also going to give us the anticipated or the expected output. The output is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 itself. But I want to use for loop. If you want to use for loop, see, the initial value is 1. So I will initialize the integer I equal to 1. This part is going to be 1 because it should start printing from 1. So 1, right? So here the conditional check is going to be I is lesser than or equal to 5 because I want to print 5 also, right? I plus plus. Instead of using hello world, I can directly use I here, right? If I run this, first we will see the output, then we will do the tracing part. You will understand it clear. Java C space test Java space test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is being displayed in the console. So let us do the tracing part for the better understanding. Try to focus here. Everyone, focus here. Okay, this is the program, right? So we have a main thread. Main thread will be created by the JVM, and main thread will get access to the main method. All the instructions inside the main method needs to be executed one by one. Right? So the first instruction itself is what? The for loop. First instruction itself is what? The for loop. When this is encountered in the for loop, right? First the control will be transferred to the expression 1. This is what this is representing expression 1. Expression 1 says integer I equal to 1. It means assign 1 to the variable I, which is of integer type, right? So in the memory, right, initialization will happen for only one time. Once it is initialized, then the for loop is going to take care of it. So 1 will be assigned to the variable I. Value 1 is assigned to the variable I. Right? Value 1 is assigned to I. Right? So after After executing or executing expression 1, the control will be transferred to the expression 2. Expression 2 is what the conditional check. What it says, check if I is lesser than or equal to 5, right? So we are going to do a lot of conditional checks here. Value of I is what? 1, right? It is going to be 1 is lesser than or equal to 5. Two conditions you are checking. Check one, I mean, if it is lesser than 5, it is true, or if it should be equal to 5, it should be true. Any one condition satisfied, it will return true, right? So lesser than or equal to 5, it's going to return true. So it is returning true, guys. When it is returning true, it will enter. So this is like the gateway, guys. Expression 2 is like the gateway to enter into the for loop. It will enter only if this expression is returning true. So now it is returning true, right? The value is true itself, right? So control will be transferred to the body of the for loop. Right? Inside the body of the for loop, there is a simple print statement. System.out.println. What we are trying to print I itself. What is the value of I? 1. Right? So 1 will be displayed in the console. Right? From here, the control will be transferred back to expression 2. This is the pattern. Expression 2, body of the for loop, expression 3. Expression 3 is performing increment operation I plus plus. Directly I am writing 1 will become what? True. In the memory, the value of I is being incremented to 2. Right? And again from here, the control will be back to expression 2. Again conditional check. This time 2 will be checked. 2 if it is lesser than or equal to 5 or not. Because I has been updated to 2, right? Now 2 will be checked to the value 5. It is going to return true itself. Right? So from here, body, right? Printing I. What is the latest value of I? 2. So this 2 will be displayed in the console. As simple as that. Will be displayed in the console. Right. Next, from here, it has to go back to I plus plus increment. Now 2 will become 3. Right. From here, again the conditional check. 3 is lesser than or equal to 5 or not. Yes or no? Likewise, 3 is lesser than or equal to 5. And again, the loop is going to keep repeating, right? 4 is going to lesser than or equal to 5. Likewise, 5 is lesser than or equal to 5. And 6 is lesser than or equal to 5. Right? So it is going to return true. This is also going to return true. This is also going to return true. So in the memory, 3 will become 4. Four will become 5. Right? In the console, and 5 will become 6. Why 5 will become 6? Because that is the last iteration. Will become 6. So in the console, for all the true conditions, output will be displayed 3. Right? The moment it encounters this instruction, just true. All this going to return true. For all the truths, the values will be printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because for all the truths, the control will be getting into the body of the for loop. So obviously, till 5 it will execute. 5 will be displayed in the console. But when this encounters this 6 is lesser than or equal to 5, it is going to return what? False. When this check is encountered, the control will not travel to the body of the loop, right? It will be kicked out of the for. That's why we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very simple. First, execute the expression 1, then expression 2. Depending upon the conditional check, if it is true, it is going to act as a gateway. Execute the body of the for loop, then expression 3. Again expression 2, for loop, expression 3. It keeps repeating as long as the conditional is true. The moment it encounters false, this will be come out. Making sense why we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, everyone? Samyukta, Chaitanya, Rashwan, Samyukta. Yeah, you will get a lot of idea. Don't come to a conclusion that which is going to be difficult. You will get a lot of idea going forward. We are going to do a lot of problems on this. Right? So now, if I want to, now you tell me guys, this is the question for you. I am not sure whether you are going to answer it or not. I am not sure. Right? So now you tell me. So the question will be like, they will give you the statement, okay? They will ask you how many times expression 1 will get executed, how many times expression 2 is going to get executed, how many times expression 3 will get executed, right? How many times this statement is going to get executed. This is the question. So what's your answer on this? Tell me. Expression 1, how many times? Expression 1, expression 2, and expression 3. How many times each and every expression is going to get executed, including the statements, or I can say body of the loop. Fourth one is expression. We just have to count how many times. We have an example. How many times? We know expression 1 is going to get executed for 1 time. Yes or no? You have to count how many times expression 3 will get evaluated and how many times the body of the loop will get evaluated. When executed, how many times the expression 3 will get executed. I can also say that how many times the thread is going to encounter expression 2, body of the loop, and expression. Any idea? Any answers for this? Let me keep this question to you. Chaitanya says 1555. What about others? Samyukta, Shashwan, I hope you understand my question. Jyoti. Okay. Samyukta is asking me to repeat the question. So the question is, how many times the expression 1 will get executed? Or I can say that how many times the main thread will encounter expression 1. So this part is expression 1. This part is expression 1. So this part is expression 2. So this part is expression 3. So this part is instruction or the statements. Right? So we already know that as soon as the execution starts, the main thread is going to encounter the expression 1 only once. As soon as it is done with initialization, it will never come back here, right? So it means expression 1 will be evaluated or executed only once. Right? Now the control will be transferred to expression 2. As soon as it is transferred to expression 2, this is the count 1. Count 1, right? If it is true, instructions count 1, right? And again, for the expression 3, count 1. Count 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. Likewise, for this typical example, how many times expression 1 will get executed, how many times 2 will get executed, how many times the instructions will get executed, how many times the expression 3 will get executed. Making sense? Jyoti says 155. So this is one of the popular interview questions, guys. Think and answer. Asking this, it means you should think something. The answer cannot be easy. Think an answer. 14321. First one says 14321. Different answer. What about Samyukta? Any answers from your side? 155. Okay. So this is the example. No? If you are getting disconnected, rejoin. So this is our program. Same program I have taken. So expression 1 will get executed only once. We do not want to discuss about this. Now you tell me guys, control will be transferred from year to year. Right? So the conditional check will be happening. Don't you think that 5 times the condition is going to be true? Yes or no? True, 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 true. And for the 6th time the condition is going to be false. It means we have to count this as well, right? For the first time 5 times it is going to be true. So let me do it this other way. First 5 times it is going to be true. For the 6th time it is going to be false. Right? When you talk about this expression, we should count false as well, right? False is also, after the evaluation only we are getting the output as false as the resultant boolean value. Yes or no? Means this is also counted, right? 5 times true. For all the true times, right? When it is true, so the print only this, this instruction will get executed. Let me repeat this once again. So this is one time. Now the control will be transferred from year to year. So we can clearly say that expression 1 is going to get executed always once. Expression 1 only one time. When you talk about expression 2, the first thing you need to observe is you should always include false also. There will be at least one false, but we are not sure how many true cases will be there. Right? There will be at least one false, but we are not sure how many true cases will be there. Yes or no? Right? Now, if you understand this, right, there will be 5 true cases, 5 trues, 1 false. Yes or no? Because I is starting from 1. 1 is lesser than or equal to 5. You keep counting like that, you will get 5 true cases. So true will be for 5 boolean true values and for 1 false value. If you combine these two, the execution is what? 6 times. Getting it? Yes? No? You can say that. Okay, I was saying at any point of time there will be a false condition. False condition has to be there because whenever it is encountering the false condition, then the control will be kicked out of the for loop. Right? There will be a mandatory one false condition will be there. But we are not sure how many true conditions are going to be there. But in our case, after analysis, we are sure that there are 5 true conditions. So 5 trues and 1 false. Always the false is going to be only once, right? So total is 6 times, right? Count is 6, right? The expression 2 will be executed for 6 times. But when you talk about this particular instruction, especially when you talk about this, what I call it as the internal statement of the for loop, as long as the condition is true, this will be executed, right? Only when the condition is true, the gateway will be open, right? This will be executed. So how many true cases are there? 5, right? If 5 trues, then 5 times this instruction will be executed for 5 times. If we have 10 true conditions, this will be executed for the 10 times. If we have 20 true conditions, this will be executed for the 20 times. Right? So if this is 5, this is also expression 3 is also going to be 5. So starting, this will be checked in the beginning. After this check only, the control is coming here. If it is coming here, definitely it will go here. When the control is entering the body of the loop, right, it will definitely go to the expression 3. If it is not entering the body, it will not go to the expression 3. Yes or no? From here, if it is acting as the gateway, if the control is going inside the body, if it is going to the body, it has to also go to the expression 3. But if it is not going inside the body to execute the body of the for loop, it means there is no chance for this control to go here, right? Because if the gateway is false, or if the what the boolean condition is false, the control will be transferred back or kicked out of the for loop, right? So for all the true conditions, I can say that statement will be, or I can say that body will be executed as long as the condition is true. How many truths we have? If we have 5 truths, then body will be executed 5 times. Right? So this is directly proportional to the expression 3. When the body is getting executed for the 5 times, the expression 3 will also get executed for the 5 times. Expression 3 will be executed as long as the body of the for loop gets executed. Making sense? Everyone, Samyukta, Shashwant, Chaitanya, Shashwant, have you got now? Have given me a different answer. Right? Jyoti. Good. Now you tell me. So far we are printing. So if I say 10, right? Based on the output, you tell me how many times this control expression 1 is getting executed, how many times 2, expression 2, how many times expression. I will give you this simple cheat code. So the output is going to be 1 to 10 will be displayed in the console for this particular program. Right? Now you tell me how many times this expression 1 is getting executed, how many times this expression 2 is getting executed, expression 3 and the body of it. Tell me first. You give me the count now. Everyone. Good, Jyoti. Chaitanya, good. Good. Right? By looking at this, can I conclude that at any point of time, the expression 1 will be executed only once? Good, Jyoti. Can I conclude or not? At any point of time, can I conclude that the expression 1 is going to get executed only once? Yes or no? Tell me. Any point of time, expression 1 will get executed only once. Yes or no? Yes. Only once. The second conclusion is, can I say that at any point of time, the number of executions for the body of the for loop is going to be same as the expression 3? Yes or no? At any point of time, number of executions for the expression 3 is going to be same as the number of executions of the body of the loop. Yes or no? Same as body of for loop. Right? But I can also say that if the body of the loop is getting executed for n times, if the body of the for loop is getting executed for, I can say that if the body of the for loop is getting executed for n number of times. It means the expression 3 will also be executed for n number of times, but the expression 2 will get executed for n plus 1 time, one number of times. Do you agree with this? The body is executing for n times. The expression 3 will also be executed for n times, right? But the expression 2 will get executed for n plus 1 times. Because that one time is for the false condition, guys. Remember that. Expression 2 will get executed for n plus 1 time. Don't you think we have just created the formula for this? And the expression 2 in the body of the formula is executed for n times. The expression 2 will obviously get executed for n plus 1 times. This one time is representing the false condition. The remaining n times is representing the true condition. Yes or no? Tell me. Can I come to this conclusion, everyone? Response, please respond. Please respond. Samyukta. Yes, this is a simple understanding. When you have a for loop, if anyone is asking you how many times the body of the for loop will get executed, if you are able to calculate the body of the for loop, then calculating the other expression 3 is going to be easy. Just add 1 to it, as simple as that. You're going to add 1 to it, that 1 is representing the false condition, as simple as that. Right? For example, can anyone tell me, I want to print only even numbers from 1 to 10. Can you draft a logic for that? Just try. If you are not able to try, I will give the answer. So this example is giving us to print the numbers from 1 to 10, but I want to print only even numbers between 1 to 10. I want to print even numbers between 1 to 10. So the expected output should be what? The expected output should be 2, 4, 6, 8. Right? Can anyone build a logic for this? The let me give you the small tip. You will make changes here. You will have to make changes in the expression 3. You need to do something in the expression 3. Right? If you do something over in the expression 3, you will get this answer. Right? Can anyone tell me what could be how to build a logic for this? Chaitanya says I plus 1. Chaitanya, but I plus 1 is also equal to I, both are same, right? I plus plus is same like I equal to I plus 1. If I do one, you just check and after tracing it, you will get to know. So let us do what Chaitanya is saying. Chaitanya is saying here keep I plus 1. It says I plus 1 is not a statement. Either we have to use, you should use like this, I equal to I plus 1. So after evaluation, you should assign it. This is the correct statement. Can I do this? So 1, 2, 3, 4, the same thing will be printed. Why? Because this I equal to I plus 1 is same like I plus plus. I plus plus is also equal to I plus 1. Right? Now, at least by looking at this, you can answer me now, guys. Something that says I minus minus. I minus minus means now we get a problem for this. This is the answer, guys. I equal to I plus 2. So the step over will happen for every even number. Run this. Focus here. Sorry, we are getting 13579. Okay, let me make a small change. So I'm sorry, guys. We should start from my conditional check is missing. So my mistake is I should be initializing it from 0, but I forgot to do that. So I have initialized from 0, and when I do the increment from I equal to I plus 2, we will get the answer. Making sense? So how is it possible, sir? If you ask me, let me go back to the main screen. So this is our code. So now you tell me, now just look at the boundary here. The initial condition is 0. So if I take the boundary, the starting boundary is what? 0. Right? 0, and it is getting ended at 10, right? So I can say that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so let me separate this. This is for your imagination, right? You can imagine it, imagine this. Think it like a boundary. Boundary has been defined. How did they achieve this boundary? Very simple. Initial condition, initial value is 0. So 0, and it is going to end till what? End till 10. So when you see the increment, the rate of incrementation, after printing 0, the first value is going to be printed as 0. If you see the rate of incrementation, it is getting incremented 2 times. One step, it is skipping one number. 0 plus 2 means 2. Talk about incrementation. The first is pointing to 0. Then what we are doing? We are doing I equal to I plus 2. Then 0 will be, this pointer will be skipping 1. From here, it will be pointing to 2. From here, 4. From here, 6, 8, 10. So this is talking about the rate of incrementation. We are saying I equal to I plus 2. If you are not saying I equal to I plus 2, we are saying I equal to I plus 1. We will start from 0. Same thing, 1 to every number will get executed. Since we are saying I equal to I plus 2, from 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I have to mark this 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. 6, 8. Okay, I think you can understand this. I'm talking about the step over. Okay. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Rate of incrementation. Depending upon the value that we are depending in the expression 3. If you want to print the multiples of 3, right, what I can do, I can say I equal to I plus 3. Yes or no? Do you agree with this? Samyukta, everyone? Right? If I do this, if I do I equal to I plus 3, initially the boundary is set to 0. It is starting from 0. Right? So from here, it will be skipping 2 numbers in between. From 0, it will be skipped to 3. From 3, 6. From 6, 9. You should be getting 0, 3, 9. Which one is deciding this, this step over? The expression 3 is deciding this. Yes or no? The expression 3 is going to decide this. Right? If I run this, if I follow this approach, I equal to I plus 3, if I do this, zero 3 6 9. Right? If I do I equal to I plus 4, we get what? Excluding 4 table, we get 4 0 4 8. Now you tell me what will be the output. I am saying I equal to I plus 5. Now you tell me what is the output that we are going to get. Very simple program. I equal to 0, I is lesser than I equal to 10, I equal to I plus 5. What are the values that will be displayed in the console? Come on, everyone. Understand my question? Samyukta says 5 10. What about others? Yes, it's 0 5 10. Jyoti, correct. Because initially we are giving it 0 needs to be printed, then the incrementation will happen. Getting it, Samyukta? Yes, 0 5 10. Yes, correct, Jyoti. Correct, Jyoti. 0 5 10. Yeah. Compilation is successful. So this is the previous program, guys. Let me save this once again. Zero pattern. The last question. 8 plus 6. Answer this. So we haven't gone inside the for loop yet. This is just the basic understanding, basic foundation. That's it. Yes, Jyoti, you are right. 0 6. 0 6. Now I hope you got to know what is deciding. What is actually deciding what numbers to be printed. Right? So which is important expression here? All the expressions are important, right? Now from this we can conclude that this is just a starting point. Yes or no? Expression 1 is just a starting point to just kick start. If you want to, for example, if I'm in Villivakam, we want to travel to Chennai Central using a bike, right? So I need to start from Villivakam, right? Starting, right? I need to start my bike first of all. I need to point my location. I need to start my bike, right? So that is what representing here. That analogy can be applied to here also. This first expression is just initial condition, right? This value will be considered most of the time. Integer I equal to 0, this value will be considered most of the time. In this case, it is going to get considered, right? And this is going to define what? How many times the for loop needs to get executed. This is going to decide the increment or the step forward. What values needs to be printed. Each and every expression has its own thing, guys. Making sense? Right? So please be frank if you're understanding or not understanding. If you're not understanding, we will approach a different logic tomorrow. It's just a starting point of the for loop. Right? I'm going